My wife pretended to be me and did my work while I was sick. I'm a software engineer at a startup, and we had a critical client demo at 2 p.m. This client was worth $340,000 to our company, and my boss had made it very clear that losing them wasn't an option. I woke up at 6 a.m. with a 102 fever, barely able to lift my head. My throat felt like sandpaper, and my whole body ached. I checked my phone and saw 3 Slack messages from my boss asking if I was ready for the demo. The last one said, "Need confirmation ASAP." I dragged myself to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. I was pale, sweating, and could barely stand. But I kept thinking about that demo. 3 weeks of work, all riding on this one presentation. My wife found me trying to get dressed. She's a front-end developer, but she sat through dozens of my late-night coding sessions, helping me debug and asking questions. She looked at me and said, "You're not going anywhere. Go back to bed." I told her I had to do this. She grabbed my laptop and said, "No, I'm doing this." At 7:30 a.m., she locked herself in my office. I tried to follow her, but she literally blocked the door with a chair. Through the door, I heard her typing furiously. She changed my Slack status to active and joined the morning stand-up. My team lead asked where I was on video. She typed in the chat, "Lost my voice overnight. Bad cold, but I'll have everything ready for 2 p.m. He responded with a thumbs-up emoji and moved on. I spent the morning in bed, sweating through my sheets and barely able to keep water down. Every time I tried to check on her, she'd yell through the door. I said, "Trust me." At 11 a.m., I heard her on a video call with our lead developer. She was asking him to walk her through the authentication flow I'd built. She claimed she was reviewing everything one last time to make sure it was perfect. He spent 20 minutes explaining it to her. At 1 p.m., she came out looking stressed. She brought me soup and I asked if she needed my help. She said, "You can barely sit up, I've got this." Then she went back in and locked the door again. At 1:55 p.m., I crawled out of bed and pressed my ear to the office door. I could hear her breathing deeply, like she was preparing for something big. Then I heard the Zoom call connect. "Good afternoon, everyone," she said in the deepest voice she could manage. It sounded ridiculous, but somehow professional enough to pass through a laptop microphone. She started walking through the demo. My heart was pounding. This was everything I'd built for 3 weeks. The client was silent as she showed them the dashboard, the reporting features, the mobile responsiveness. Then the client's CTO spoke up. "Can you explain how the API integration works with our legacy system? We're concerned about data migration." There was a pause. A long, terrible pause. I almost knocked on the door to take over. Then my wife started talking. She explained the integration flow, the error handling, the rollback procedures, better than I ever could have. She used terminology I didn't even know she knew. The client's CTO said, "This is impressive, very thorough." My wife kept going. She showed them the stress testing results, walked them through the security protocols, and even handled a question about scaling that I'd been dreading. At 2:47 p.m., I heard the client say, "This is exactly what we needed. You've addressed all our concerns. We're ready to move forward." My boss jumped in. "Excellent. I'll send over the contracts today." The call ended. I heard my wife let out a massive breath. The door opened and she stumbled out looking completely exhausted. Her hair was a mess and she had notes scribbled all over her hands. I just stared at her. "How did you do that?" She collapsed on the couch next to me. "I've been listening to you code for 2 years. I picked up a few things. Plus, I called your lead dev this morning and got him to explain the parts I wasn't sure about. I told him you wanted a second set of eyes before the big demo." I asked why she did this, why she risked looking stupid, why she put herself through that stress. She handed me more soup and said, "Because you would have dragged yourself to that desk and made yourself worse, and I'm not letting that happen. Now drink this and stop being stubborn." My boss sent a Slack message an hour later. "Great work on the demo. Client signed the contract. You just earned us $340K. Take tomorrow off. You've earned it." My wife looked at the message and laughed. "See? I told you I had it. I married the right person."